Lecture 16 How School Education Harms Leadership, Part 1. This is the 16th lecture of the leadership course. In this lecture, we will continue to discuss how leaders can be teachers. 1. The educational model hurts our leadership. When I say that leaders should be teachers, who do you think of as your role model? Who do you think you should emulate as a teacher? I can tell you that, regardless of your verbal response, your true role models are actually 3 teachers. The first teacher is your parents. The second teacher is all the teachers who have taught you from kindergarten to university. The third teacher is your initial supervisor and boss when you first entered the workforce. These 3 teachers have left their mark of leadership on you. I have an interesting hypothesis that among these 3 teachers, your parents and initial supervisor may have had both positive and negative influences on you. However, overall, the teachers in your school have had a mainly negative impact on how you lead others today. As a leader, if you want to be a good teacher, you need to rid yourself of their negative influence. You may think that you have encountered some good teachers and that their influence on you should be positive. However, I think this possibility is small. What really influences you unconsciously is not 1 or 2 teachers, but the entire education system behind them. There is a famous quality management master named Deming who once said, "If we don't change the prevailing education system, we will never change the prevailing management system. They are the same system." Deming said that the education system and the management system are the same system, but you can also think of it this way: the education system trains people and then sends them to the management system. However, many ways of thinking and behavior that the education system cultivates are not suitable for the management system. In other words, the impact of school teachers on you is not just the impact of 1 or 2 teachers, but the impact of the entire education system. As a system, school education harms our leadership in at least 3 ways. 2. Only encourages individual success. The first aspect is that school education only encourages individual success. Let me share a personal story. When I was 22 years old, I became a so-called manager. At that time, I was actually a graduate student and working part-time outside of school. Because of my outstanding work performance, I was promoted to department manager, and my graduate studies became my part-time job. I was very excited at the time because I had subordinates. I had some technical skills, but I knew nothing about management or leadership. My boss was a genius. He understood the principle that leaders should be teachers. He told me that I needed to teach my subordinates. At the time, I didn't understand why I needed to teach them. On the one hand, some things were hard-earned and I was reluctant to teach them. This idea was selfish, but it was also human nature, and you can certainly understand it. However, there was also a selfless aspect to my thinking. I believed that you needed to have the corresponding ability before you could get this job. If you didn't have the ability, you should go back and learn it before applying for the job. I shouldn't have to teach you. My thinking was very low and lacked leadership. Looking back now, of course, there were personal reasons, but I think it was also related to school education. School education did not teach us this principle, that we should teach others. Have you noticed that school education only assesses individual achievements? What concept does it convey? Your entire success, at least your greatest success, is your personal success. After more than 10 years of school education, you graduate, but this concept is rooted in your mind. When you are an ordinary employee, you pursue personal success and forget about teamwork. When you become a department manager, you still only pursue personal success. Some people have also been leaders in school, but this does not help with real leadership. For example, if you were a group leader in school, helping to collect and distribute homework, you did some service work, but the group leader is not responsible for the team's results. The group leader does not have this concept that their greatest success is the success of each member of the group and the success of the group as a whole. Of course, as a group leader, you don't need to have this concept. But when you become a department manager, you need to have this concept that your greatest success is the success of your subordinates, your team, and your department. However, our school education teaches us the opposite concept.